Morning. How are you all? I have one question. What happened to spring? Where did spring go? Yeah, it's wet. So I'm Cindie Leitman, and I'm here to welcome you to the Center of Spiritual Living Tacoma, those of you in person here today, and those of you watching us online. Our musicians today are Yangco on the clarinet, and our special guest is Diann Spicer, our very own opera singer. Our audiovisual team up there is Erik Perrohe and Ronald. Our practitioners today are Suzanne Frazier on platform, and Ona Chambers and Toby holding consciousness in the back. Thanks to our greeters, Justin and Patrice. They're the ones smiling back there. Say hi. That's not Patrice, that's Ken.
Next week he'll be Patrice.
Okay, all right. So Ken, are you coordinating coffee today also? Yes. Okay, he's doing two things today. Wow. All right. And our speaker today is Reverend Drew, our senior minister. So we are an inclusive, welcoming, and heart-centered community. So if you're new here today and you're comfortable raising your hand, please do so we can welcome you. Who's new? Oh my goodness. Keep your hand up if you're new so we can give you a packet. Oh, this is fabulous on a holiday weekend as well. Amazing. So let's take a moment to remember who we are and what we believe. The Center for Spiritual Living Tacoma is a peaceful, loving, and joyful spiritual community with a shared set of values, principles, and practices. We embody an understanding of our oneness with Source. We are committed to individual transformation and to being a beneficial presence on the planet. Our vision is to create a world that works for everyone. We help to empower you to bring your dreams to life, and we do this together through practicing meditation and prayer, offering a spiritual home, teaching universal spiritual principles, giving consciously, living in the present moment, engaging in a life of service, and providing a pathway to peace of mind. That sounds pretty good to me. Some announcements. So our founder, Ernest Holmes, discovered that focusing on something that you truly want to manifest in your life requires holding an image or a feeling and using spiritual practices to manifest your heart's desire. He called it the law of mental equivalence. And we're teaching this in a course. You're going to find it online. It's led by Mona Williams. The class will begin on Tuesday, June 4th at 6:30 p.m. The Law of Mental Equivalence. Steve Potts, is Steve here? Steve is not here, so I'll read this for him. So we're holding an online auction as a fundraiser. We did this last year, and it was very successful, and we hope it's going to be doubly successful this year. So please, during this month, please bring gently used furniture, paintings, antiques, other treasures to the center on Sundays after service. If you need to arrange another time, check with Steve Potts or Sharon and arrange a time to bring your treasures to the center. All proceeds from the online auction will be donated to CSL Tacoma. We are helping the Puget Sound Pet Food Bank. You know, that was started here by Marge Meyer. You all knew that. Years ago, it started here, and now it's this big thing. So we want to help the food bank increase its stores of pet food, litter, and other needs like collars and chew toys. So you can help by bringing dry and canned food to the center on Saturday, June 1st, from 9 a.m. to noon. You know, all those cans of food that your dogs and your cats won't eat, bring those to the center, and we'll give them to the food bank. Our volunteers will run out and help you offload these essential items. So let's support our furry friends in their time of need. I want to say something special about the service that's going to be held on June 23rd. Drew's going to talk a little bit more about this, but I wanted to add my 2 cents. Be here on June 23rd. There is a very, very special service that we're going to be holding then, and it's really important that you're all here. That's all I'm going to say. Over to you. Next Sunday is our potluck after the service. The theme for this month is vegetarianism for everybody. So bring your favorite vegetarian dish, and it looks like, according to my notes here, that we'll be voting on what the best vegetarian dish is. So get out your skills and do your thing and join the fun. The practitioners will be in the prayer room at the back after service holding a prayer circle, so if you're in need of prayer, please join them. And now I'm going to hand it over to Reverend Drew for the minister's moment.
Thank you. And if you're interested in being a welcomer, it's a really nice way to get to know people and connect. So please sign up and let us know. We're always interested. Judy has a quick announcement about the kind of pet food bank, Nibble for Kibble. So if she would come up, they're having a special event and she wanted to announce it. So welcome Judy to the stage.
Hi, everyone. Well, like Vicki said, Puget Sound Pet Food Bank was founded right here at CSL by Marge Meyer. Her vision was to make sure that no pet in our area goes hungry. And so we appreciate all the support from CSL, bringing pet food and litter and such. And we're also having a special auction event, our annual fundraiser, Nibble for Kibble. It's on Sunday, June 9th at the Alan Moore Elks Event Center, which is a lovely venue. They're going to put out a lovely spread of food. We have live music from Dane Norman and silent and live auctions, a lot of fabulous items, raffles, and it's a lot of fun. The tickets are only $40 a piece. And if you want to buy tickets after the service, you can see me. There's a poster downstairs on the landing with a QR code, or you can go to the Puget Sound Pet Food Bank Facebook page. Thank you.
And Justin and Judy have been big about making this a priority for us to do community outreach, especially for our animal friends and partners. So we thank you for that, very much so. June 23rd is a special volunteer recognition event, and it's going to be fabulous. We're going to have some special event and wonderful offerings for our kind volunteers and a way to say thank you. So if you volunteer in any way at the center, please come. And if you don't, please come. It's going to be a party. We're going to have a festival. We're going to celebrate. We're going to raise a joyful noise, not to be confused with our program in October. But it's going to be a joyful noise for everyone, so please come. It's going to be wonderful. And Vicki Simone has been doing a great job in coordinating it to make it happen, so we thank her for that. Just want to say a word about our practitioner body that we have coming on. We met about a week ago or so and talked, and now there are almost a dozen new people that are interested in becoming a practitioner. So we are really growing and influencing people to dive into a spiritual path. And that's really what we're here about. It's really, if you're going to take this life and this journey with any kind of humor and seriousness and joy, then jump in. What are you waiting for? Just jump in. Have an experience, no matter what. It all ends the same. We have a good life, we let go, and that's it. But in between is what we make it. And that is where the power's in your hands. So grab that power. Decide what you want to do and be. You will not regret anything you try or do that has to do with creating love, being in spiritual contact, creating a community. That is why we're here. So bravo to the practitioners and the whole practitioner body. And if you are a practitioner, would you stand today with our center, because I know we have a couple here, but we have Bev and Suzanne are with us today. And so see them, because they are studied and learned at how to really create things with your thinking. And that's what this is all about, is harnessing your thought to create the life that you want. And that's what it's about. I want to take a second to do some gratitudes, but beforehand, we do have Memorial Day coming up. And although we haven't geared the bulk of the service toward that, I'd love for us just to take a few moments of silence to recognize those who have served and fallen in the name of what they believe to be right and good in protecting our humankind and creating freedom for us all. And no matter where you are, recognizing that that kind of service is remarkable, to give of yourself for the benefit of others. And that's what Memorial Day reminds us, is those that gave of themselves for the benefit of others. So let us take a moment and bring them to heart and mind and give them the reverence and solitude they deserve. Thank you. I don't know about you, but that was very touching for me, just to think about that for a minute. I was moved by that. So as we go out today and tomorrow, allow yourself to be in that conscious reverence and honoring those that have fallen. So now to shift gears, we have a little gratitude for those that are still around. And one thing is the gratitude for that service. The other thing is, these are wonderful comments that are in your program. You can drop them in the collection plate because we read them every Sunday. And they're really great to have us realize that there is a ton of good happening in our world right now. There is amazing things that are happening. There are people coming up with creative climate solutions, people caring for each other, loving each other, hugging each other, being genuinely in compassion for each other, healing, helping. Let us not forget that. Gratitude is not about turning away. It's about turning toward the sun and turning toward what is also good. It's a both and. Compassion and gratitude are wonderful partners, and they can go hand in hand effortlessly. When you do, that's where you find the balance of life. So, a fun time with my hubby and dinner out with my bro. Awesome. The grace of healing. The grace of healing. God giving me health and strength 1 year after surgery. Amen. Having a great family who cares and loves about me, as imperfect as I may be. Brighter days, steps in the right direction, and good conversation. Opportunities to help people. The music at CSL, great music today, by the way. Yeah. Woo. The present moment and the peace between thought and reaction. What a great thing that is. Think about if we took time and thought before we reacted every time, how much more peaceful our world would be. Let's all endeavor to keep doing that. Music family and sunshine through the tree leaves. Never letting fear outweigh faith. That's profound. And my people, for there is no greater treasure than love. Amen. So now we're going to be blessed to hear some more of that wonderful music. Diann? Isn't she wonderful? This is a great gift. You're going to love this.
Voi che sapete che cosa è amore So that's just not fair.
Now you have to sing the prayer.
Dads. Thank you, Diann. Didn't you just make that look so precious? So easy, it was lovely, thank you. Thank you. So now I have a couple of readings here. We don't have to wait until we are out on our deathbed to realize what a waste of our precious lives it is to carry the belief that something's wrong with us. Yeah. Because true belonging only happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world, our sense of belonging can never be greater than our level of self-acceptance. So now if you choose to close your eyes and just go to that place where we know, everyone knows, the goodness survives and thrives. And as Drew said, this is a special day. I lost 2 brothers to Vietnam. So this day always carries weight with me. Douglas was 19, and Billy was 72. He died of the effects of Vietnam. So it's special to me, it's special to our family to remember those lovely people that served, stood in our stead. And I know that kind of goodness exists everywhere. That good exists everywhere. Call it love, beauty, God, whatever word you have for it. Spirit, I like spirit. It is ever present in our lives, everywhere we look. There's nowhere you can look that you won't see some lovely thing, no matter your mood or circumstance. Even if it's just a blade of grass or the little wiggly ears of the bunnies in my yard. It's all good. It's all good. Do you understand that in your very soul? The rock you pick up on the beach is alive. There's a lot of stuff going on in that rock. We take life so much for granted sometimes. And it's just always sizzling all around us. So I'd like you just to take half a minute to just think about that part of you where spirit exists, and not just exists, but it thrives. That spirit is who you are. So right now, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for each one of you that is here. And I have a special person here today that makes my heart happy. I hope you have that someone in your life that makes you smile just by their very the thought of them. I know that spirit exists in all that we do, all that we experience, and more importantly, it exists in what we do. It's that old thing of we need to do better to be better. So I just say thank you, sweet spirit. I'm so grateful, thank you. And I release all of it, knowing that before anything is done or said or anything else, it's already done in spirit. I know that to be true, and so I just release it and say, thank you, sweet spirit. And so it is.
I don't know. That was amazing. Holy smoke. I feel like dun 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 dun. I have a rose in my mouth. I heard the word je t'aime, and I know that part. I'm like, I love you. That's great. Thank you so much. That was just lovely. And lovely how you just played with that so beautifully too, you know. Thank you so much. This is gorgeous. Hi, good morning. This is the fun part. We get to show up as we are. We get to be who we are fully and completely. No hiding, no fussing, no worrying, no fretting, no fear. Take a deep breath in. Be who you are. Come as you are. A couple weeks ago, we talked about perfectly imperfect, right? And for those who weren't here, we talked about how we are not perfect. My hair is not perfect. My teeth aren't perfect. My body's not perfect. My feet aren't perfect. Everything I say isn't perfect. Much as we try and work and manipulate. My son let me know I'm perfectly imperfect in the way I speak because I'm an actor and articulate well. And so sometimes a little spit comes out of my mouth. So in the front row, I'm sorry. I'll try to create a little guard for you. And then plus my face after the surgery, it didn't help. And there's a little more coming out. So when I'm in the car and there's sunshine coming, it's like, Dad, you're spitting. There's like spray coming out of your mouth. Yours happened. Did you see that? That's imperfect. But I don't care. I embrace it. I embrace who I am. And so today, thinking about that, those quotes we heard, that you can never fully be free until you self-accept. Self-accept circumstances, who you are. Let go of what you think you should have been, or might have been, or could have been, and love who you are right now and show up as that. Fiercely, beautifully, lovingly. That's freedom. This quote says it all. It says, you are imperfect, you are wired for struggle, but you are worthy of love and belonging. You are worthy of love and belonging. Vulnerability sounds like truth and feels like courage. Vulnerability sounds like truth and feels like courage. Truth, courage, and vulnerability aren't always comfortable, but they're never weakness. They are never weakness. Vulnerability is a birthplace of love, of belonging, of joy, of courage, empathy, and creativity. Isn't that wild to think about? The birth of your creativity comes from vulnerability. So, here's a little case in point example. Now, this morning, getting ready, I had lots of stuff to do, and I forgot to put on my microphone. So I run up to Erik, and I get the microphone, I put it on, and I have it wired, but I'm not really sure if the wire's sticking out of my back. So I'm going to be vulnerable and turn around and say, is my jacket okay? Yes. Okay, so now, what did I do by doing that? First of all, I'm honest. Secondly, I don't waste any energy in my talk. And they go, is my jacket off? Is my jacket off? You know, how many times have you been talking to someone, you're like, is there spinach in my teeth? Is there spinach in my teeth? Is there spinach in my teeth? And your mind is absorbed with that fact of, quote, imperfection, of not being comfortable with where you are. Instead of just asking the person gently, is there spinach in my teeth? That person will lovingly tell you, oh, yes, there is, or no, there's not, dear. And you can let it go. Once you let that go, you are unburdened. You are free. And this, the beauty of this is not about, we are a very, very, very positive movement. We're positive, stubborn optimism, constructive believing, but it is absolutely in parallel with honoring and understanding there's suffering and there's loss and there's grief. And that's okay. The combination of those two things is the birthplace of creativity and love and joy. Not either or, both and. So coming as you are means that I had a couple of people during the week, I get lots of calls. People call me and they have a problem in their situation, they need help, they want to talk about things, and I talk about all of them. And what I understand is that some people said, well, I didn't come to center last Sunday because I didn't feel up to it. I didn't feel like I could show up as my positive, authentic self. And that crushed me. I thought, that's the time you need to come more than ever, right there. if you're not feeling good, come as you are. Because this place will hold that lovingly for you. I watched in the last few services a couple times when people were having emotional, moments of realization or loss or grief, and those around them took them by the hand or put their arm around them and helped them. That's divine love, man. It's not about being perfect or being Mr. Joe Optimist. It's about being who you are. And if you feel optimistic, bring that too. I am unapologetically optimistic. Unapologetically, fiercely believing in the good that we all can do. But I have down moments, and when people ask me and I don't feel good, I'm honest. I'm a little tired. I feel a little overwhelmed. This is bothering me. I need to talk about it. When we do that, what we get is freedom. Freedom. If you don't say it, if you hide and pull back, doesn't mean you don't need time to yourself. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, but if you exclude people, if you push them away when that moment of need, you're missing a golden opportunity to connect, to free yourself from that moment. Because how many of you have ever thought lesser of someone who was honest and real and vulnerable? Do you not feel the gravity of when somebody says to you, I need a little bit of time, I'm hurting, and you zero right in with them? Okay, let's talk. And it's a two-way street. They're giving you the gift of ability to have a difference in their lives at that moment. That is pure gift from God. When someone says they need, and I'm able to be there with them for them, it makes me feel valuable, useful, needed. Like I'm making a difference in the world. And that person gets what they need, which is love, companion, compassion, caring, to fuel them. So it's a two-way street. In that moment, that's where this love is born. That's where this courage and empathy and creativity and belonging actually show up. So when I heard the members say that, I thought, I'm going to create a talk around show up, come as you are. Come on a Sunday as you are. No judgment, no questions, just you. And in that, we learn to bear our souls. And in bearing our souls, we become great, big, beautiful. Can you feel that? That's what we're doing here. That's why you invite all people. Our music is as eclectic as our people. And as we grow, more people are going to say, I want to be there because I can be me. I can be a full expression of me without apology. The other thing this does is this is part of an antidote to our isolation. We're an antidote to isolation. That's what we are. We're an antidote to isolation. I get super excited about that. We offer genuine love for one another, caring. Here's the things that isolation can do. This is from Dr. Long, and many studies comport with this. Social isolation and loneliness each independently have more than a 25% increased risk for significant health issues, not just mental health issues like anxiety, depression, and suicidal ideation, but other diseases, particularly heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and dementia. 0.7 is the number on the research scale. If you know anything about research, that's a huge number. Is the relationship between connecting with our social network and our long-term health and well-being. It is stronger than the correlation between smoking and lung cancer. When you feel safe in a community like ours, when you can be who you are and know you are unconditionally loved, there's nothing more powerful in the world. Nothing. That's living our purpose. And every one of you are that person. And you will turn to everyone around here and see that because that's our expectation and understanding, and we rise to that and we become the best human beings we can be. And when we do, we up-level the world, and we do something called spiraling up. We just keep working on it. And you'll notice that up doesn't have to do with just pleasant or nice. It has to do with the real. Get into the real. The real is positive. We all live, we all die, we all love, we all lose, we all win, we all suffer. It is the wonderful, full palette of life. Let's live it. Let's live it together. So we're the antidote to that isolation. So when you come as you are and see who we are, you see a new side of who you can be, which is totally loving and accepting. And here's the other thing. Because you're feeling it, just know that here's the absolute truth of the universe. Everything is transitory. Everything changes. So if you're feeling a certain way, where we often get caught is you feel bad and your brain says, I'm always going to feel bad. This is it. The rest of my life is going to feel bad now, right? An event happens and you feel bad and you're like, oh. If you realize you're going to change in that, it's almost like an amusement park ride. You put your hands up and go, yep, I feel awful. I'm experiencing something really awful. Note, I am not awful. I am not bad. I am not incomplete. I'm experiencing this. So I come together and I release myself and I throw my hands up and I go through the ride and I get off and I feel better. And then I'm going to feel good for a while. And then I'm going to feel something else. And it just comes. It's like all these changing machinations of everything. And that's perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's being human. So I really wanted to say to anyone, if you're ever feeling down or bad or sad, reach out, connect, either one-on-one or with us. I remember I watched a thing from Simon Sinek last night. He's a great leadership coach and trainer. And he talked about the realization that there was an article that said, generally people need about 8 minutes. That was the estimate. 8 minutes of time to feel from feeling really bad to feeling heard, seen, and starting to get back to feeling better. 8 minutes. And he said he had a friend that reached out to him and said, hey, wanted to see if we wanted to get together. And he didn't respond. And then he said it again. He didn't respond because he was busy. And then the friend did something else and broke down. And he said, why didn't you tell me you needed help? And she says, well, I was trying to. I just didn't know how to say it because it was embarrassing for me. I felt a little weak or vulnerable. And so I said, I understand totally. He said, next time, just text me, I need 8 minutes. I need 8 minutes. Just 8 minutes. So if we understand how to reach out and connect with people, say, I need a little help, or there's something on my mind, I need to talk through with you. The other thing that's so powerful about doing that is you dispel assumptions. Assumptions. We all know the little phrase, you make out of you and me, right? Yeah. A double snakes. I can't swear here, so look at it. I'm ruining my reputation. Anyway, so you make a double snakes or out of you and me when you assume. There's nothing more true than that. The general clocked amount of assumptions being correct is less than 10%. Where about 90% of our assumptions are false. So when we don't reach out and sit back, we live in a world of fiction about what people think or what they believe or what I think or what I believe or what it should be true. And we're going to bust through that. Come as you are and find out the truth in conversation. How many of you have had an assumption and then talked to the person and it was completely wrong and they were completely, oh, I get it now, right? Right? And that's the power of doing that. That's the power of coming as you are, because if we sat back, we'd live in this little fictional world and then we'd be all hurt and then we'd slough around the house and we'd lose sleep and decide all this stuff. What a waste of time. Pick up the phone, come to a service, connect. Love each other, right? That's the power of what we're doing there. A few times here in service, we've seen our members share openly about their lives. I'm looking at Gloria and Rob because they were the last to do it, but Ty's done it and others have done it. When you see someone be that vulnerable and that real in front of you, what happens to you when you see that? It's overwhelming. It's beautiful. Now, here's a real clicker, and I want you to remember this. Does your estimation and respect for them decrease or increase? Dramatically increases. That's the formula. We think vulnerability makes us look bad or weak or unlovable. Not true. Vulnerability is the strength and power and confidence to share and let others have permission to be vulnerable themselves, which you have all done beautifully, exquisitely. And when we do, we respect, we know, we admire, we connect on a whole new level. Life is short, ladies and gentlemen. Life is short. I don't want to waste any time assuming or disconnected or fear-based or worried or concerned or afraid to show myself. I want to be here fully, live fully, and love fully as much as I can. Right? That's why we're here. And that's what our little center is a beacon of. Isn't that nice? Isn't that awesome? And then from that platform, guess what you can do? You can create anything you want because you've cleansed the palate and open up the mental resources that you're not wasting. And you can think creatively about what you're creating and how you're loving. And that's what we're doing here. We're building, we're growing, we're expanding, we're changing. We're becoming. That's freedom. That's freedom. You know, I realize that the metaphor I've used before, but I'm going to share it again, is like you're stepping into life in the batter's box, okay? Here's life, right? What's the pitch going to be? What am I going to do, right? Here we go. Now, you have two choices in the batter's box. One is you can be defensive and cautious, and some batters sit back and they don't want to get hit by a pitch, trying to protect themselves, right? That's defended. That's being concerned or afraid to show yourself, to show your true self. The other kind of batter steps in and swings, knows exactly who they are, and connects. Now, are they more vulnerable to get hit by a pitch? Yes. But look at how much stronger they are. Look at how they can absolutely utilize all of their body, mind, presence to swing away and hit a home run. And even if they miss, they say, all right, next time, that's okay. The best hitters in the world do not worry about failure. They use it as fuel, energy to grow and learn. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Fail is not a four-letter word. It helps you grow. So in that metaphor, we think about you're still going to get hit occasionally by a pitch back here. You can't protect yourself. And in the end, it's like, yeah, I didn't get hit by a pitch, and I batted 120 all year, right? Or I got hit by a couple pitches, but I batted 290, 380. And for those who know averages, those are high. Above 300 is great. So think about how you're showing up, how you're willing to show up. And it takes consciousness and energy and love to do all that. One of the other things that I want to talk to you about quickly is how we do this. Speaking truth and being real is not to be confused with being reactionary. Okay, just because I think a thought doesn't mean it's true. When we heard earlier in the gratitude, the difference between, or the space between thought and reaction, thought and response, I prefer to say, is critical. When you're experiencing something coming in, you're going to think about it and understand how to share it in a way that is constructive, real, authentic, not reactionary, but more conscious. Seek to understand in those moments. Seek to let go of judgment. Seek to be there openly and real for other people vulnerably as well. So that's important to note, that honesty is not about a lack of kindness or being reactive or being somehow negative at all. It's about being vulnerable and real. I feel this. I sense that. So here's a good example of that. My business partner, Sherry, and I practiced this a long time. Now, we've been in business for 10 years. That's a long time for two people to spend together. We're partners, and we all talk all the time. And we had to really work through a model that helped us communicate better. So here's how it goes. An example was she did something in one of our recordings that we were recording for a kind of a book we're working on, and in the recording she had a little bit of a negative response, and the recording kind of went sideways a little bit. I felt, and so I could have said to her, this was scenario could have been A. I could have said, why did you get negative there? What happened? That totally threw it off. In which case she would have reacted like, I didn't. What's wrong with, now we're sparring. You see how that happens? What's wrong with you? It's your problem. You blame. Anger, defensiveness, blame. No progress, no growth. Luckily, we had studied some principles and it didn't go that way. Here's the way it went instead. Hey, Sherry, can I have a moment of your time? I'd love to check something with you because I think I'm making an assumption and I don't even know if it's true or not. Do you mind if we talk? Sure, Drew. The other day when we did the recording, I just felt like something went sideways a little bit, and I didn't know if it really did or didn't, or how you felt, or if you even noticed it. But I'd love to hear your perception of that. Do you see how I did that? I'd love to hear your perception. I'm seeking understanding right there. And in that moment, she came back and said, oh, I don't even know what you're talking about. Can you tell me more? And I elaborated, and she went, oh. It came from a situation where I had been in and I got afraid in that situation, and the fear must have come up in that moment and come out in what I was saying. It's because I was insecure about that thing, and I was floored. Oh my God, I get it. And that must have been hard for you. Now do you see what's happening? We're connecting empathetically. Oh, and maybe then it got creative. Maybe we can use that as an example for what we're writing. Yes, let's do that. Oh, I said, oh, I'm so glad you told me that. That was so wonderful. She was so courageous and honest and so real about it and non-defensive that it blew me away. And then I said, I feel foolish for even making the assumption. And I'm glad I checked it with you so I can let it go. Free yourself from that assumption. And then we connected, and we laughed, and we talked, and we thanked each other, and we hugged, and guess what got stronger? The relationship. See how that works? And we let go of assumption. Assumptions separate. Connections and empathy connect. They bring you together, right? So that was an example, and I want you to think about that next time you have an assumption, you need to talk to someone. I texted and they didn't text me back for 3 days. They must hate me. Something's wrong. What did I do? What happened here? And you finally talked to the person and said, oh, my mother died. And you're like, oh my God, right? So we can let go of that assumption first. The other part is just any sense of judgment we have for ourselves or others. So I'm judging myself. Oh, I'm not right. I don't feel right today. Who cares? Come as you are. That's the hallmark of our center. That's who we are, a beacon for the world to come as you are. Wouldn't that be refreshing? We can all show up as we are without that sense of judgment or fear of being judged or needing approval for self-worth. Let's let that go. Everybody raise their right hand. Say, I will let go of needing approval for self-worth. Thank you. And take the hand and pat yourself on the back and say, good job. Because only I can approve of me. That's the way it is. Any fear of vulnerability, that's going to take, for some people, a little bit of time, but it is so important to remember to let go of those things, to let go of any sense of thinking that is weakness. And I want you to think of it as mighty, super strong. Vulnerable, not weak. Vulnerable is mighty. Because once you are, you're showing a love and acceptance for yourself and role modeling that for the world. For others to be that way. Is everything going to work out perfectly? No. But you can find perfect love for yourself in your imperfections. So the courage and confidence show up as you are. Embrace knowing that all things change. So I'm not going to stay stuck here. I'm just feeling this way. And you know what will probably happen? You come feeling bad. You'll see people, and in about 8 minutes, you'll feel better. You'll suddenly have a transformation. So I want you to take a second, and we're going to do this just really quick in action here a little bit. To the people around you, I want you to say, I see you and appreciate you exactly as you are. So let's take a minute and greet each other. I see you and appreciate you exactly as you are. Hey, I see you and I appreciate you exactly as you are. You are divine. Wonderful. Good to see you. I see you and I appreciate you both exactly as you are. Exactly as you are. I see you and I appreciate you exactly as you are. Okay, let's come back. Let's come back. You know, talk about perfect imperfection. I don't even know if my fly's open right now, so I'm just going to say it and look. Oh, I'm okay. I'm all right. But you know, here the final thing that's funny about that, they did a study with 2 speakers, and they found out what audiences really like. So the first speaker got up and was perfect and did everything right, laid the notes out, read it beautifully, looked coiffed and perfect like this, and then got down and said, thank you very much. Everybody's like, yay. The next speaker gets up, and this is part of the study, and spilled their notes on the stage. With, oh, I got to collect them all together. And made a joke about it, and then had coffee and spilled it on themselves, and made several mistakes throughout the thing, but was real and connected. And which speaker almost unanimously did the audiences like better? If that's not an example of come as you are and be loved exactly as you are, not this image of something, not some false image of who we think we should be, but who we are, proud. Take a deep breath and be proud of who you are right now. Let it out. Be proud, be confident, be humble, be kind, be fierce with that. Fierce with that. Be fierce with loving who you are and where you are. Because there is nothing wrong. Nothing is out of place. It's all perfect. I was struck by a story that one of my old minister mentors used to tell, and it was a powerful one. And he had some congruents. And the congruent had a couple, and the couple was very loving and very kind. And the woman of the couple ended up having a stroke. And this also touched me because many of you know I've been through something similar, not exactly close, but similar. And the stroke left her left side totally paralyzed and drooping. And she was embarrassed. And she was mortified. And she hid. She wouldn't show herself. And finally, one day, she said to her husband, "You can't love me anymore because I don't look beautiful." Man. And he looked at her, and he took her face in his hands, and he said, "You are more beautiful than ever to me. And I love you exactly like this and wouldn't change a thing about you." And he kissed her, and they connected. And she determined she was going to lose the fear. And she decided to come back into the world. And she became a greater example of love than she'd ever been before the stroke. She became a fierce beacon for how to love yourself so completely and unconditionally that it doesn't matter what the exterior is, or what the scars are, or what the warts are. The beauty is in from the light within. It's from the light within. When you shine that light, there is no beauty that can compare. So, think about those around us and ourselves, how we can hold our face in our hands, and we can say to those and ourselves, "I love you exactly as you are. It's more beautiful now than ever, and more perfect and now than ever, exactly like it is." And from that platform, we can create a world that thrives in harmony together. So pat your neighbor on the back one more time and say, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." And always remember to come exactly as you are, because it's beautiful just as it is. Blessings. Beautifully done. Thank you again. That was wonderful. So let us have our greeters come forward as we take our offerings in our hands. And whatever you have, whatever you give is beautiful exactly as it is. So this is wonderful. And let us say our blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. With infinite gratitude, so it is. Bravo, Benny. So we offer infinite gratitude for the beautiful song and for each of you giving your time, treasure, and talent to make our center grow. Thank you very much.
And now, if you choose again to close your eyes and go to that place where Spirit dwells within, knowing that all is truly well. All is truly well at all times. I know there is difficulty and challenge. I've had people reach out to me this week with difficulty and challenge. And what I know is I can stand in the truth. And the truth is that that person is perfect. That person is whole. That person is complete. And any brokenness is an appearance. So if you have a challenge like that, as Drew beautifully said to us today, that's when you reach out. Let somebody else know that beauty for you. Let somebody else know your perfection. Let somebody else hold you in that place of divine healing, divine goodness. It's as easy as that. So on this Memorial Day, I wish you all well, beautiful thoughts, beautiful experiences, family, time of remembrance perhaps. And I just am grateful for every one of you here, so grateful. And I just say thank you. Thank you, Sweet Spirit, for this opportunity for us to be together again, to love each other again, in person, online. We have that opportunity over and over to love each other again and again. Seize it, love it, treasure it. So I just say thank you. Thank you, Sweet Spirit, and so it is.
Now we'll do our final song, a release and let go. Come as you are and show the world they can be who they are. Amen.